that she's told people what they want to hear and essentially led them blindly into misinformation, and people have clicked on it and then suddenly think she's the most amazing thing ever, despite her basically preying on virality and misinformation. No shock, I'm back once again to film some waffle and actually, quite frankly, roast a workout which is not meeting my expectations. Sadly, it's Chloe Ting, back, arms and core workout, 15-minute upper body, no equipment. A few words in there are what's immediately flagging concern being back and no equipment. If you know much about biomechanics, you know why, and if you don't know, you're about to know. But very quickly, many of you who are watching this are not subscribed to the channel. I know it's a bit of a pain seeing a massive forehead on your screen on a regular basis, although I would really appreciate it if you did click the subscribe button down below if anything I say throughout this entire video is at least tolerable. Straight off the bat, we're doing a movement which I probably wouldn't incorporate into your workout routine. I'd probably incorporate it more into like a mobility or warm-up routine. Quite frankly, the bird dog is again a pretty good kind of stability, mobility movement, but it's not something I would actively consider strenuous enough to cause any adaptation which is going to result in muscular development, which is probably what some of you want. Two real reasons you're going to be watching a workout like this. You either want to build some muscle or tone up, or you want to get leaner, lose fats, lose weight, whatever you want to say. Quite frankly, any movement, including this workout, will result in caloric expenditure, which will help with the weight loss. But when it comes to actually building your muscle and toning up, things like the bird dog, not worth your time. Things like a reverse plank, again, not really worth your time. Sure, there's going to be a core function aspect to it. Is it going to be strenuous enough outside of your maybe triceps and shoulders burning from just holding position? Probably not. Part of the reason I want to actually talk about this video is because there's a bit of misleading, because we speak about back, arms and core in the title, but I'm going to be honest with you. The arms, when we're considering what they really are, we really consider two things, the triceps and the biceps. The triceps are going to get heavily utilized doing any kind of movement as we've just seen, because you're holding that extension position. If you're holding lockout, like Chloe's doing here, you're going to utilize the triceps. Are they going through a relevant range of motion for stimulus? No, but they are utilized and they will fatigue. Are the biceps at all utilized through any of the movements we've seen thus far, despite it being early days? No. Biceps mean you have to bend the elbow, you've got to curl. If you're not doing variations like that against resistance of any kind, they're not going to be utilized. Therefore, half of the arms are missing from this workout thus far. A lot of core movements are going to be thrown out throughout this video, which is fine, I respect it, but there's a big flag and you're going to see that in just a moment. I see no back work. Technically speaking, if there was resistance here, this rowing is like a renegade row sort of thing, that would actually stimulate the back, especially with that close arm path. We're looking at more of the lats, but there is no resistance. If you could build muscle or stimulate muscle or cause adaptation to occur to any relevant degree, just moving your arms like this, we'd all be pretty juiced and toned and muscular going like that when we're cooking food. I don't know. Quite frankly, when I see no equipment and it says back in there, or biceps, or maybe even arms to some extent, I'm going to be concerned. And someone's going to pipe up in the comment section, be like, oh, Chloe Ting's workouts like this actually did really great wonders for my back. Fantastic. I'm going to be honest, you know it didn't. What might have helped your back is the fact you maybe did a bit more activity and maybe ate a bit less, therefore lost a little bit of weight, which made you in turn look a little bit more defined and lean. But none of these movements per se are going to actually result in any stimulus. And I go on TikTok sometimes, I go on other platforms, I see loads of people comment, oh, which workout should I do? I can't wait to start Chloe Ting's amazing workouts because I want to get the summer body I've always wanted, even though we're in the middle of January. It's a shame to see because I know they're only going to be disappointed. Again, throughout all of the workouts we're seeing, what has included relevant stimulus to the biceps? Nothing. What has included relevant stimulus to the upper back muscles and mid back muscles? We're going to remove the lower back for sake of argument here. Nothing. And sadly, the thing is, when you actually promote this kind of misinformation online, actually just essentially lie to people, to be honest with you, you're actually misinforming them of reality, which means they're going to learn what is incorrect. They're going to do workouts that they think are targeting certain areas, but they're not. Then they're baffled as to why they're not seeing results. But then you're also further enforcing incorrect information. This kind of initial analysis is kind of mainly to get your attention and get some educational purpose behind this video, so you can at least learn something from the waffle and the rant and the complaining I'm about to do. We're going to talk about how the fact that Chloe Ting has such a huge subscriber base, and this is relevant to a lot of comments I get. When I review people online, they'll say, oh, but this person has more subscribers than you, they must know what they're talking about. Chloe Ting by default is one of the most popular fitness influencers in the world. She has 25.6 million subscribers. By that logic, she is the most intelligent and informative and beneficial fitness influencer in the world, when in reality, in my personal opinion, based on the information she promotes, being a lot of times misinformation to be honest, and the quite frankly pretty awful and subpar workouts she suggests people do, I'd actually argue that she's probably one of the worst influencers out there. She doesn't promote anything like massively harmful, which is great and I respect that, but that shouldn't be special. We shouldn't expect that promoting harmful information in the fitness industry to be the norm. And if she doesn't promote harmful information, she's suddenly fantastic. And that's the only thing she really does to a fair standard, is that she doesn't overly sell utter nonsense. She just does promote workouts that are labeled inaccurately and also workouts that aren't particularly effective. I get how there's a market there where she could obviously utilize these workouts to help beginners at home that have literally nothing, and I really respect that and I appreciate that. What's actually more important in that case, if you are going to produce a workout like this where you're doing movements like this up pulse which does literally nothing, at least educate people to some extent by putting a disclaimer in the description saying, by the way, this doesn't do XYZ, or actually just better title the video so it doesn't actually portray false information. Very quickly, I'm throwing it out there, honestly it's worth gandering at. For less than $1 a day, you get a workout program for either at home or at the gym designed by me. You get access to educational exclusive content that I drop in there every week or so. You get daily messages from me. We get communication with me and the other team members in the message board. So many things. In the future, it's going to expand into Zoom calls and private groups and all sorts. But for the time being, there's some exclusive content and exclusive access and exclusive waffle, if you so will. All of that is linked down below in the description. Less than $1 a day, and there's a 7-day free trial for both the home workout team and the gym workout team. So if that tickles your pickle, let it tickle your pickle. With 25.6 million subscribers, she then has a massive influence on the fitness population. And the thing that further baffles me, this is really a rant, I apologize in advance. So many people will come to my comment section, will send me messages where they say XYZ about Chloe being the best thing ever, or certain fitness influencers, be that Caroline, Sydney, whoever I've mentioned in the past, being so incredible and amazing because they have such a large following, when in reality, following is irrelevant. If you want me to be brutally honest, sadly, the big reality in the fitness industry, you can make so much money and you can get such popularity by spreading viral nonsense that people think is true, when in reality it's not, just praise on their insecurities. If I start posting like, oh, this is the best supplement in the world to get rid of that belly fat in 14 days, and all that nonsense, and start lying to you about what I'm promoting, saying, oh, take this juicy pill 9000 and you're going to look like Megan Fox in a week or something, and people buy into it because essentially I'm preying on insecurity and telling people what they want to hear, not what they need to hear, I'm going to get a lot of traction from that. It's going to be fantastic. But I'm also building a channel based on lies, misinformation, and utter nonsense. Sure, I may not have a massive channel, but I'm going to be honest with you. If you come to me and say, Harry, can you put together a no equipment, full body workout for me? I can do a pretty good job in about 10-15 minutes with instructions, sets, reps, intensity, all sorts. And I guarantee everything I do is going to be accurate and is also going to be justifiable. And part of the reason I actually made this channel was to actually just do that, debunk misinformation. I've grown up in a household of my mother and my sister where they have done silly workouts online and complained about not seeing results. They have followed these fad diets that essentially got them nowhere and complained about it. So I was like, you know, I see this happen to them, I see it happen to friends, I see it happen to friends of friends, family friends, all sorts, and you're like, wow, who's going to tell them otherwise? So I came here and guess what I'm doing? Telling you otherwise. And although it may not necessarily be cool, fancy, exciting, and sometimes it's actually quite boring, quite simple, that's not a bad thing. Imagine if I could tell you the way to get to where you want to be is really simple. It's not easy, but it is simple. And it also doesn't involve you buying loads of supplements, spending loads of money on these special therapy type things like shock therapy or whatever. It actually involves a little bit more movement, a little bit less food. I have given Chloe praise in the past, I'm not going to deny that. I have seen a few videos where she's actually promoted, although at the time it was a little bit outdated, but scientific and science-based information nonetheless, and I really appreciated that. But then she falls back to her usual nonsense, which is promoting really low effort, poorly designed and misinforming workout videos for people to follow and essentially lead them blindly into the abyss of misinformation within the fitness industry. So although this is an irrelevant and boring rant for many of you, I felt like I should express some concerns that quite frankly, although Chloe Ting is one of the largest fitness creators in the industry, her size should not dictate her quality of information, effectiveness of workouts. Quite frankly, her size may indicate that she's told people what they want to hear and essentially led them blindly into misinformation, and people have clicked on it, got moving from having done nothing, seen a few good results because essentially they're moving more, maybe even eating less, and then suddenly think she's the most amazing thing ever, despite her basically preying on virality and misinformation. So yes, like I said, although she may be one of the largest creators on the platform, if not the largest fitness creator, she's also probably one of the worst, and one of the few I would say please do not follow her. If you genuinely want good at home, no equipment workouts, I can give you 5 other recommendations off the top of my head that at least promote something that is supported by the current literature and science, which quite frankly is pretty important, especially when it comes to the human body. Just my waffle, just my opinion. You may not agree with it, and that's absolutely fine, but if you do agree with it, click subscribe down below. I would very much appreciate it. But until the next one, thank you for tolerating me. Thank you for tolerating my ranting and venting, and thank you for tolerating the video.